Fuck Jake Paul. Fuck Jake Paul. Hey, New York, shut the fuck up, New York. Hey, boo yourselves. Boo yourselves, New York. Hey, New York, New York, New York, you're just like Mike Tyson. You were good 20 years ago. Fuck you, New York. Fuck you. Dumbass Democratic City.
Jake Paul entered his August 18th press conference with Mike Tyson, expecting some respect after his win against Perry. Instead, he was met with a wave of pure hatred from thousands of people. Not a single person in the crowd supported him. Instead, he was roasted, mocked, and humiliated like never before. The atmosphere was so hostile that not one person could bring themselves to give him even a single clap. Jake's behavior didn't help either. He had the nerve to poke fun at Tyson's ulcer problems right there in front of everyone. There's a line between hyping a fight and what Jake did. He didn't just cross that line, he completely obliterated it, leaving no chance for redemption. Disrespectville. If I were in that crowd, I'd be the first to toss a tomato, and I bet you'd be right there with me. In case you've been living under a rock and missed the drama, let me break it down for you. The latest press conference for the highly anticipated Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight wasn't just another stop on the promotional tour. It was an absolute disaster for Jake Paul. Held at the Jacob Javits Center in New York City during Fanatics Fest, this event was supposed to be a standard hype machine. Media questions, face-offs, a few verbal jabs, you know, the usual. But oh boy, did it go off the rails, and Jake Paul found himself in the middle of a nightmare he never saw coming. Conferences are usually where fighters get to strut their stuff, show off their confidence, throw a bit of shade, and get everyone hyped for the big fight. For someone like Jake Paul, who practically lives for controversy and thrives in the media spotlight, this should have been his playground, his moment to bask in the attention and prove he's more than just a YouTuber. The cameras were rolling, the media was ready to dissect every word, and fans were either in person or glued to their screens, anticipating the usual Jake Paul spectacle. But what was supposed to be his time to shine quickly spiraled into a colossal mess that no one saw coming.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. It's cute.
Crickets. The whole place was eerily quiet, with just a few murmurs breaking the silence. Then, out of nowhere, the crowd exploded, not in cheers, but in jeers. YouTuber. They chanted over and over, drowning out anything Jake tried to say. It was as if the entire audience had collectively decided they were done with Jake's act. To them, he was still just a guy from the internet, not someone worthy of standing toe-to-toe with a legend like Mike Tyson. If you've been following Jake Paul's antics, you might recall something from his previous press conference in June, the infamous chant that had everyone talking.
Fuck Jake Paul. Fuck Jake Paul.
Jake Paul stepped into his press conference with Mike Tyson on August 18th, expecting some respect after his win against Perry. Instead, he was met with a wave of pure hatred from thousands of people. He probably thought he'd get at least a nod of approval, but not a single soul in that crowd was on his side. Instead, he was roasted, mocked, and humiliated like never before.
The most hated and most criticized boxer in the sport of boxing before they loved him was Muhammad Ali. So I'm the anti-hero, and people will love me soon enough.
Jake Paul's comparisons to legends like Muhammad Ali or Mike Tyson fall flat because, unlike Jake, Ali and Tyson understood the importance of respect. Ali's famous quote, "Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee," epitomized his approach to life, knowing when to be fierce in the ring and when to be gracious outside of it. Tyson, despite his ferocity, also recognized the value of respecting his opponents. After losing to Buster Douglas, Tyson didn't lash out or mock him, but accepted his defeat with dignity. Jake, however, is in a league of his own. His victory over Perry wasn't enough. He had to twist the knife to ensure everyone knew Perry wasn't just beaten but humiliated. While this might grab headlines, it doesn't earn respect. It breeds contempt. This contempt was on full display, highlighting Jake's failure to grasp the true essence of sportsmanship that Ali and Tyson embodied. Comparing himself to Muhammad Ali isn't just bold, it's downright delusional. Ali wasn't merely a boxing legend, he redefined what it meant to be a public figure. His unmatched confidence was always balanced with respect, even toward defeated opponents. After a knockout, Ali would help his adversaries up, exemplifying true sportsmanship. In stark contrast, Jake Paul's recent TKO victory should have been his chance to gain respect in the boxing world, but he squandered it by mocking his opponent, Perry. Instead of displaying any semblance of respect or sportsmanship, Jake took to social media to ridicule Perry's defeat with pictures and videos. This behavior starkly contrasts with the grace Ali demonstrated, showing that Jake still has a long way to go in earning the kind of respect that comes from genuine. At the press conference, the crowd's hostility wasn't just about Jake Paul's boxing skills, it was about his character, or the lack thereof. Unlike most, who might retreat and take the heat personally, Jake Paul decided to double down in the chaos. Instead of showing humility, he chose to flaunt his disregard for his critics. He didn't just target the fans, he aimed a low blow at Mike Tyson, making a comment so disrespectful it was surprising the floor didn't open up and swallow him. As Jake looked out at the sea of angry faces, he turned his attention to Tyson, a man clearly struggling with his health, and dropped a bombshell of a remark. This move not only showcased Jake's insensitivity, but also his tendency to escalate conflicts, further alienating himself from those who value sportsmanship and respect in the sport.
I'm here to make $40 million and knock out a legend. I don't give a fuck about anything else, and he's the one that wanted it to be a pro fight, so he's gonna get his ass knocked out for real, on a real record. You're going to see on BoxRec, Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson.
Jake Paul's jab at Mike Tyson was a direct shot at a man who, despite everything, commands a level of respect that Jake can only dream of. Tyson, who has faced more battles in and out of the ring than Jake could ever imagine, didn't deserve such disrespect. Yet, in his infinite wisdom, Jake chose to belittle this legendary figure, reducing the encounter to nothing more than a payday. That's when the crowd truly turned against him. When Jake realized the audience wasn't exactly showering him with praise, his frustration reached a boiling point that was both shocking and, frankly, a bit sad to watch. Instead of trying to win them over with charm or humor, Jake opted for a full-scale verbal assault, not just on those present, but on the entire city of New York.
Hey, New York, shut the fuck up, New York. Hey, boo yourselves. Boo yourselves, New York. Hey, New York, New York. New York, you're just like Mike Tyson. You were good 20 years ago. Fuck you, New York. Fuck you. Dumbass Democratic City.
This wasn't just harmless trash talk. This was Jake Paul completely losing it. The real low point came when Jake decided to take a cheap shot at Mike Tyson's health. Tyson, who has been open about his recent health struggles, became the target of Jake's cruel and unnecessary taunts.
People think I'm gonna get knocked out by this strong, powerful guy. All the people in my comments saying, look at his power, he's gonna get KO'd. People are yelling at me in the event. But what happens when I put this man to sleep? This shit is not a joke. He's saying that it's gonna be my funeral. He's saying it's gonna be my wake. He's gonna kill Jake Paul, all of these things. Till November 15th, I'm knocking this motherfucker out, and we're gonna see who's dead. We will see who's dead. We will see who's dead, Mike.
Is this where we're at in boxing now, where respect, a cornerstone of the sport, is disregarded? Mocking someone for their health issues is as low as it gets. When someone is going through a tough time, the bare minimum expectation is to show a little empathy, or at the very least, keep your mouth shut. But Jake Paul, in his never-ending quest to appear tough, bulldozed through any sense of decency. He didn't just cross the line, he obliterated it, leaving even his harshest critics speechless. So do you really think the crowd was out of line for giving him a hard time? Honestly, I don't blame them one bit. Sure, the backlash might seem harsh, but Jake Paul pretty much asked for it and deserves every bit of it. If you've seen the press conference yourself, feel free to share your thoughts. I'm all ears. Thank you for watching the video.